Stop the frustration. Have you tried every fad diet? Feel like you're starving yourself? Are you a chronic dieter? Weight gain is a symptom. I'd like to help you stop your frustration. The secret to weight loss and lasting weight loss is your biochemistry. You see, the extra weight you're carrying around is a symptom that some biochemical process in your body is not in balance, and it may be your hormones. Today I'm going to discuss what I feel is the most common cause of weight gain, hormonal imbalances, and how your weight loss efforts are being sabotaged. I want you to stop living with shame and blame. It shouldn't be puzzling that hormonal imbalances cause weight gain, but I rarely see doctors ordering hormone testing. I can tell you when I see a client whose hormones are out of balance, they feel tired, fatigued, and unmotivated. The fat-causing hormones are insulin, thyroid, adrenal stress response, sex hormone imbalances. Insulin hormone's primary function is energy production. It regulates the metabolism and absorption of the food we eat. Food, especially carbohydrates, are turned into glucose, otherwise known as blood sugar, which is potential energy. Healthy carbohydrates are fruit and vegetables. Unhealthy carbohydrates are sugary foods, comfort foods, which are starchy foods like French fries and mashed potatoes, and foods that are highly processed like white bread and pasta. When we eat, our blood sugar increases and the pancreas releases insulin in response. Insulin must bind with the blood sugar to get it through the cell wall and release the energy into the cell. As this happens, the blood glucose level outside the cell returns to normal. Unfortunately, when diets high in sugars, starches, and processed foods are consumed, there's an increase in blood sugar levels, but there's not enough insulin to bind with it and all that blood sugar. So the blood sugar goes higher and higher, but never gets into the cell to be used for energy. This becomes a vicious cycle, causing the person to begin to feel more tired, especially after eating a high carbohydrate meal. If you feel fatigued, tired, or feel like taking a nap after eating, you may have an issue with your blood sugar or insulin levels. The thyroid gland is located in the front of the neck. It's the main gland that controls our metabolism and how much energy we have. TSH is the blood test that checks the level of thyroid hormone. I want the TSH level to be between 1 and 3. As the TSH level increases, the more lethargic, fatigued, and constipated someone will become. They may experience cold hands and feet year-round, but especially in the winter. It will be almost impossible to lose weight if the TSH level is not in balance. To accurately assess thyroid function, T4 and T3 levels should be tested. T4 converts into the more active T3. A normal TSH by itself does not necessarily mean that a person has normal functioning thyroid. Another compound rarely tested is iodine. This is frequently low because we are all watching our salt intake. Iodized salt is the most common source of iodine. Seafood can supply iodine as well. Hashimoto's thyroiditis is an autoimmune disorder in which the individual's immune system attacks the thyroid gland, causing irregular and diminishing release of thyroid hormone over time. Some research has suggested a link between Hashimoto's and gluten sensitivity. As you can see, evaluation of thyroid function by TSH only is not sufficient. For our adrenal stress response, we have two main hormones, cortisol and DHEA. The active adrenal hormone called cortisol, which is known as the fat hormone. We also have DHEA, which is the calming, balancing adrenal hormone. I use two analogies to portray an activated stress response. The first is if I ask you to go for a ride in my car. That might be enough to stress you out right there if you know how I drive. But as I start driving, I'm applying pressure to the accelerator. The accelerator is our cortisol level. When you feel pressure, not enough time, trying to get out of the house in the morning, stressful life events, chronic health conditions, these can cause an increase and sometimes sustained release of cortisol. In other words, you are on. Your body is saying, go, go, go. DHEA is the balancing hormone to cortisol. When I want to slow down when driving, I apply the brake. That's DHEA, trying to calm my response down. Low DHEA can develop when trying to control cortisol over an extended length of time. It's like your brakes are getting worn out on your car. The other example of stress response is if I put you and a wild animal in a room. You're both going to be freaking out, which is fright, trying to escape, which is flight, and if you can't, you'll be prepared to fight back. That's your fight reflex. Your adrenal response is supposed to be a short-term life-saving response, telling you to run for your life. But frequent or prolonged stress depletes these hormones, causing anxiety, anger, high blood pressure, increased tension, and sleeplessness. Cortisol and DHEA need to be balanced, but ours are on too long with not enough rest or relaxation. Does that make sense? Our sex hormones are made from cholesterol and DHEA, the adrenal hormone we just talked about. Cholesterol makes up the backbone of all hormones. Cholesterol is converted ultimately into progesterone and then into testosterone. A second mechanism to produce sex hormones is from converting DHEA into testosterone. Testosterone is then converted into estrogen. The biochemistry of testosterone and estrogen production is the same between men and women. We just have differing levels of each. Any stressor that depletes DHEA can ultimately affect the production of testosterone and estrogen. Think of it this way. If a woman and a man are under a great deal of stress, let's say from cavewoman era, being chased by a saber-toothed tiger or unable to find enough food, is that the best time for them to think of having a child? No. The vicious cycle of stress depletes the very hormones needed to procreate. Amazing, isn't it? If a man feels physically weak or loses interest in sex, or a woman has a history of polycystic ovary syndrome or endometriosis, I suspect the weight gain that they experience may be due to sex hormone imbalances. Care should also be taken if cholesterol-lowering medications are used. Low total cholesterol means these hormones may not be able to be produced. Hi, I'm Dr. Susan Plank. I know you've been struggling to lose weight. The cause may be one or more of these hormones. I test hormone levels so we can end your frustration and get results. Please give me a call today. I'd like to help.